Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to what is today us going through and doing a review of Undead Goat Class, which coincidentally is exactly the same as Undead Goat. It was re-released as part of the April Fool's update this year, and if you'd like to get it, you need to join Goat Fields and you need to complete the quest there, which will require some fairly endgame items to get, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Overall, I've given this one a rank A. Soloing is an A+. I mean, to be honest, I've heard reports of people critting 500k with this, but we'll leave it there for the moment. PvP a B, support C, and farming a C. Honestly, this is actually a really good class. I really enjoyed using it, and judging that some of the requirements are Blade of Ore and the Dragon of Time armor, you know, it's got to pack some sort of a punch, surely. I assume it's not just boosted for April Fools, and this is the class now. We are beginning with the base class, which is going to be just full luck. We have no boosting items on whatsoever. It is literally just that. So I thought, let's go along, head to Ultra Dracov as we always do, and see what sort of damage you can output. We will just discuss the skills a little bit while you see what sort of damage flicks up in the background, and it is sort of how I would describe a mini Chrono class, in the sense that you gather stacks of grass and then you use them on your skill 5, which deals damage based on how many stacks of that you have. If you are someone who has been critting those crazy high numbers, I think the highest I get in this video is around 70k later on, then please do let us know combos you've been using down below. Another thing to note is when you use skill 5, you actually apply another passive called Free Range, and this is used on your other abilities. For Goat Scream, which is your skill 2, you are going to be applying Uphill Battle, increasing your outgoing damage by 15% per 10 seconds. Headbutt, which is your skill 3, will be dealing increased damage. It doesn't give any specifics on that though. You will notice in the background we're just changing things up a little bit and we're chucking on some Forge enhancements. So we're going with Valiance, Forge and Vainglory. One other thing to note with the class is your skill 4, aka Bones of Steel, will also consume any stacks of grass you have gathered, which will apply Steel Frame, which increases your damage resistance by 40% for 20 seconds and also removes free range if you have it active. So you just want to bear in mind about that, how you're going to be using your skill 4 and your skill 5, because obviously they're both going to consume those grass stacks, and also skill 4 is going to remove free range if you have it active. So maybe, judging that is also your healing skill number 4, you may potentially want to go using that in the first rotation and then skill 5 afterwards. It's just something to think about really. Let us now though discuss my thoughts on how this class performs, and I must say when I was using it, I found that I was just getting into a cycle of using 2, 3 and 5 because I just kept on getting really strong nukes off of the 5 doing that. It didn't work every single time, and sometimes I've thrown a heal just to keep us going, but the survivability on this class is great. You seem to deal great DPS even if you're just full luck with no fancy items, so that's quite good for free players who maybe don't have time to go through farming those endgame forges. Then if you do have forges, you can boost it even more, and apparently, as I said earlier, the damage can go way beyond what I've shown on screen, although I've not been able to recreate that myself just yet. I do feel though this is a solid solo class and is a really viable option. You do have a strong heal with this and you will be able to survive in quite a few battles. It's worth noting that you do also have the goated passive, and when that activates, although not super common necessarily, you are going to get 8 seconds, increasing your outgoing physical damage by 100% and also making you fully invincible for that duration. I found when I was using Undead Goat, I wasn't really paying too much attention to the skill cycle going on. Most of the time I found I was just spamming away at the skills, whilst keeping an eye on how many stacks of grass you have off of that auto attack. Considering you do need the Blade of Ore and the Dragon of Time armor, I think it is just cause for this at the moment in time being a fairly high tier class. I'm assuming they're not suddenly going to nerf it after the April Fool's event, and that is just how it is, because I'm sure some of us have probably gone along and farmed a couple of those items if you didn't already have them. Farming, this class will one-shot enemies, but it is a single target, so typically you won't really be using it for that purpose. We did head along to PvP. Now, as you know, PvP is a bit of an interesting location in Avenge Quest. I feel Undead Goat could be a pretty successful option. Headbutt will stun your enemies, and crucially, it will also block your next incoming stun, which, judging that whenever I join PvP, I'm either coming up against stunners or pot-loaded people, I think could play into our hands fairly well. Anyway folks, that is about all for today. If you'd like to go along farming Undead Goat, make sure you do. I believe it's seasonal, so if you've missed it this year, it should now be back in the future, but you never know, these things can sometimes change. However, thank you all very much for watching. Please do leave the video a like and of course subscribe, and I'll see you all again for another one incredibly soon.